Hi, my name is Richard Hilton and I'm in San Diego, California. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about ranked choice voting and why it's such an important topic right now. This simple concept of voting for 4 candidates in order of preference fixes so many issues with our current election system. It's a bipartisan solution that we can all get behind. So in this video I'm going to talk about 4 specific ways that this will improve our system. But before I do, I want to take a moment to reflect on the past decade of elections and to think about how these elections have turned out. Most of these elections, the candidates that we're choosing are not popular, and they're not the candidates that have the support of over 50% of the population. So this is an issue that we can see is very present right now in the past elections. This is causing a lot of division and frustration. And this frustration can be directed at a solution that we can all work towards. And that's what ranked choice voting is. So there are 4 ways I want to talk about that it does improve our current system. The first is that it minimizes the concept of strategic voting. So in the current system, people are worried about throwing away their vote by voting for someone they actually want. This it's referred to as strategic voting because people feel like they have to vote for someone, the lesser of 2 evils, instead of voting for who they really want. So ranked choice voting solves this because you can still select the one that you want and your vote will still work with the major party candidate. So the second is that it ensures that the most popular candidate, the candidate that the most people want, will be elected. This is really important because we've had so many elections that the just unpopular candidates are winning. So the third is that this concept forces candidates to appeal to the greater audience, to more people, and this brings candidates into the middle of the political spectrum instead of making them more divisive and putting them on the left or the right or further extreme. So it brings candidates to be more moderate. And fourth, in doing this, it also discourages the concept of attack ads, because if you're competing against 3 other people, an attack ad on one person will help all 3 people. So it discourages the concept of attack ad. And isn't that what we really all want? An election that selects the most popular candidate and helps people become less extreme and less divided. So you might be thinking, well, this sounds like it's going to be expensive, and who's going to pay for this and work it all out? Well, it is true that when you implement a new system, it might cost a little bit of money to get it moving. But in the long run, ranked choice voting saves money. And it does this because our current system requires multiple election runoffs in order to come down to one candidate to compete against the other candidate. So there are runoffs and other primaries. Ranked choice voting has been coined an instant runoff voting, and this is because it eliminates the need for these multiple votes. And instead you have one vote where you have all of the candidates and you rank the candidates right then. Not only does it save money because you have less specific elections, but it brings everybody down to one moment where everyone gets to vote at the same time, instead of making people vote at different times and of course costing more money with our current system. So you might be thinking this is an incredible solution. It's bipartisan, it's not expensive, it saves money in the long run, and it fixes so many problems that are currently plaguing our system. So you might be thinking, well, what can I do? What can we do now? And there are 3 things I'd like to ask for you to do, or you can consider doing as options. The first is just to learn as much as you can about it. Watch a few more videos about it. Make sure you have a good understanding of it and how it works, just so that you're well informed and you can talk about it. And also, if you can, see what's happening on the local level for you. I'm from San Diego, so I know that in 2020, this was brought to our city council, and it was almost passed. It was a 5-4 vote against, unfortunately, but we need to increase the awareness and have more people demanding this in our system in order for it to get passed at the local level, and then at the further higher levels after that. So that brings you to the second, which is to start talking about it. If somebody is frustrated and angry and says there's election fraud and they're upset with the results, take that frustration and direct it at something productive, something we can work towards to make the system better for the future. So in political situations, you can talk about ranked choice voting as a solution that you, whichever side of the political spectrum you're on, can agree with the other side. You can work together. You can be united in this topic. And third, you can consider donating to one of these organizations that are working on getting this passed. If you think about it, you spend thousands of dollars on taxes every year. This money goes to the government and makes sure that the government has money to make things work. Now, you can supersize your taxes by donating to these organizations that improve our political system. This makes our money work better in the future, because if we have a better candidates and better elected officials, then they will use our money better, and then, as you can see, ultimately in the long run, for our children and for future generations, we'll have a better system. So if you can think of it as supersizing your taxes by donating to one of these organizations, and you can find these organizations to donate to, but it dramatically helps the process. It's something that you can do to make a stand and say that this is something important. We can all work together to make our election system better with ranked choice voting.